Hey everyone, it's Michael. I hope you're doing well today, and I've been kind of on a kick throughout the summer of rewatching movies I used to grow up on and loved during the summertime. Things like Gone in 60 Seconds, the first Tom Cruise Jack Reacher movie, stuff like this, the 2008 remake of Death Race. Now there's an old Death Race, I think it's called Death Race 2000 or something from like 1975. Sylvester Stallone's in it. I've only seen it one time. I liked it. I didn't think it was great. I didn't think it was bad. But I grew up on this one. This is the first of them I saw. There's like a million of these. There's like 4 sequels or 3 sequels to this particular movie, this remake. And then there's like a newer sequel to the original 75 movie. There's a shit ton of these. I want to make it very clear and upfront. This is probably, and maybe the original, are the only ones worth watching. I have not seen them all. My childhood best friend, TC, watched pretty much this one and all of its direct sequels that went straight to DVD. He loved them all. I don't. I've seen like 2 of them, sequels, and I'm not a fan. But anyway, this particular movie came out in 2008, which was a crazy year. You know, movies were changed forever with Iron Man and Dark Knight, Dark Knight. 2 amazingly great movies, timeless movies even. I really am on a kick to rewatch Dark Knight and the whole trilogy in general. I need to do that. But anyway, Death Race was a film that came out in that mix-up, in that great year of movies, that iconic year of movies, that has completely been forgotten, which is sad to me. It's a little bit of everything. It's a little bit of Shawshank Redemption, it's a little bit of Fast and Furious, and it's a lot of Lionsgate blood and gore. If you love CGI blood, and a lot of practical blood too, with real practical car chases, barely any CGI in the mix of those things, this is the movie for you. So where do I even start with this? I guess I'll jump into, this is essentially a prison movie, which is where the Shawshank Redemption part comes from. Essentially, Jason Statham's wife gets murdered when he's at work one day or out doing something, and he used to race cars and whatnot and be pretty good at it. Well, he gets sent to jail, his daughter gets taken away from him because of this jail sentence, and people pretty much are all convinced he's a murderer when he's not. But the warden of this prison comes to him and says, "Hey, Jason Statham, I want you to pretend to be this kind of mythological race car driver that died in the prologue of the movie, named Frankenstein. He wore like a burnt mask, you don't have to talk or whatever. The windows on your car will be shaded so you can take your mask off when you're driving. No one will know it's you unless you tell them, so don't do that." And he goes along with it for reasons. It doesn't really make any sense, but he does it. And apparently he can cut some time off of his sentence if he survives a certain amount of races, or I guess if he wins one, I think is what she said. But anyway, there's a lot of faces you'll know in here, like Ian McShane is in here as kind of one of his engineers for his cars. He has a team of other criminals, convicts, whatever, that have been there a lot longer than he has to work on his car. They know the secret about him not being Frankenstein, really. And again, that myth surrounding the other racers on the other teams that for some reason are so damn dumb, they never really seem to suspect that Jason Statham is Frankenstein, because like when the races happen, the whole other team is there, but he's not. It's really stupid. That part I don't really know if it needed to be there. That's kind of more of a throwback to the 75 movie, but still, the races are freaking crazy, dude. Like, Tyrese Gibson is in this movie. I'm a fan of Tyrese. Baby Boy is like the weirdest movie ever, but I love that guy. He's just so good. He's as funny and kind of mean-spirited here as he is in like the Fast and Furious movies and stuff. If you love Tyrese Gibson and Jason Statham, watch this movie alone. It's so fun for just those 2 guys in general. But there's so many jokes about Tyrese Gibson's character being gay. Like, every driver gets a person to be in the car that's usually female convicts from another prison that get brought in. The one with Jason Statham is a total smoke show. But for some reason, Tyrese Gibson always picks dudes. And they joke that he's gay, but they never say why, that he really does that. I don't actually think Tyrese Gibson's character is gay. But it's super funny, dude. I love the bickering and the bantering. It's got that 1980s action movie banter to it. Like, think of Tango and Cash, right? The kind of one-liners and stuff. It's that kind of movie if you haven't seen it before. But again, it's pretty much nothing but practical effects, and oddly enough, this movie is so fucking fun, and it's directed and I believe written by, is it Paul W.S. Anderson? Is that the guy's name who did the Resident Evil flicks? He wrote all of the sequels that were direct-to-video for this too, so that dude's been making a little bit of money for a while. But Death Race, I think, is easily his best flick. I like this a lot. I think he really pulls through on this. I mean, yeah, you'll have like some CGI fire, but dude, the races themselves are super fun. Basically, your car, all of the cars basically have machine guns and stuff on them. You know, they have these giant, I think it's either concrete or cement, something like that. A giant, like, block on the back of a lot of the vehicles to prevent bullets from, like, hitting gas tanks and going in through the windows and stuff. And you can use that as a weapon sometimes. A lot of people try to. But all the machine guns and stuff, dude, there's so many machine gun shootings and whatnot in here. There's so many creative kills. But you can't activate any of these things until you put all four wheels of your car on these, kind of these, like, manhole cover looking things that are a lot wider. It's like a manhole times 4. But you have to get all four wheels of your car onto this thing before the computer system will allow you to have access to, like, your guns and fire and flamethrowers and whatever. And that adds a little bit of stakes to here, because somebody might be driving, they're about to hit that thing, they either wreck, or they, something happens and they have to drive away, or they manage to not get all four wheels on it, maybe just miss one. It's super creative. I really, really love what they did with this. And going back and watching this for the first time in like 10 years, dude, on my DVD, it's so creative. And being dumb at the same time, that's okay. I'm cool with that. But, like, people never talk about this. This is one of those movies, for me, like Tango and Cash, and kind of like Cobra. Cobra had kind of a revival because of Nostalgia Critic, and then it kind of just dissipated again. But movies like that are what Death Race is like for me. Like, people just don't talk about it anymore, and I don't really know why, because of how much fun it is. Everything is gray. It was at that time where we put either piss yellow filters over everything because of Michael Bay Transformers, or everything was completely gray like how this movie is, to kind of bring up the sentiment of it being a jail movie. But I really like this. I recommend Death Race. It's probably the only one you'll ever see me review on the channel, because I have no reason to jump into the other ones ever again, dude. They just get so much worse. I think, like, the next two are prequels to this one, I think, if I remember correctly. And they're so not quality compared to this. I mean, they're straight to video, but still. Maybe I'll cover the 75 movie at some point, but not this year. Just maybe someday. But in the meantime, Death Race from 2008, if you haven't seen it, dude, you're absolutely missing out. It's such a great, fun time in a movie, in a year of movies that was just, again, great. The whole year just put out one banger after another, man. Anyway, do you remember Death Race? Have you seen this recently? Is it as good as I remember it was? Do you still like this? Do you still love it if you grew up on it like I did and loved it? It's really, really cool, man. So definitely check it out if you've never seen Death Race. It's one of those flicks that you just have to see once in your life, like Point Break, in my opinion. Anyway, thank you all for watching, guys. God bless you all. Catch you later, and goodbye.